many things that I could seriously watch for just like 30 seconds every day and keep on doing this every single day.
Yeah, I'm sorry. No, you're good.
Mitchell's conference too.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, they did.
Does he want to sit here?
They spent.
All right.
That's something where they spent like a half a day or something and running to like well that far around the hole just for that gag. But they had like they had to.
Do you hear it? It's like feedback.
Oh, you know, you're right.
They're working on it.
Yeah, I had it turned up. I've got the electric mic open too, though.
I was just worried that it should have.
No, it's I've got the overheads on. So they have
Here, Josh, we gotta get him a scout UNC State. Terrible. Right? Yeah, Josh, we gotta get him a scout UNC State from Gatorable.
Well, they like me off.
Yeah, they play again.
Page. Frank, Page. You guys need a white balance? Yep. Casey's still figuring it out too.
My hand was already open, that's how it did.
I think you get it too. Paige, you good?
First quarter is over.
You're not going to go third. That's right. That's right. That's so right.
Yeah, just for beating it. This hell 9 day. Tucker Tucker for yeah. Find out harder. Sweet. Yeah. Time to start. Who? He's clear.
Single Big Ten.
I don't. I didn't. Some lines.
Only.
Oh yeah, that's their best friend. This is
Yeah, I got a little bad when I started. He was 30-0 against everybody but Alabama. It sounded like there was one going on for a lot of the game.
They got the first half. They got right outside the 5-yard line.
Yeah.
We've been on that drive actually. They before that. Like they had a good drive, stalled out. They punted down to the goal for a mark. Probably gonna have a point there. Yeah, they good return there. About 5 yards.
Can't wait till next year. We're about to take Michigan back to that Saturday. And again, it's playing.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
Yeah. 50-piece over Texas Tech.
Yeah. What's gonna happen? Setting up in
It's only their first goal kicker. No, it's they're telling me it's both backups though, so that's gonna make it interesting. Max Brown. Yeah, good. I watched him do that. Pretty nice.
He went 2 short drives, didn't he?
Yeah. Just collapsed on 4th and 17.
He can run.
Offense guys love offense. Like the Broncos, unless it's the Broncos or the Colts, he is just on team offense. Everybody.
So Tennessee's got offense.
Put the ball down.
It was a 3-hour game, not a 4-hour game.
He did move. He wasn't bad. Yeah, he left.
Yes.
What?
Chapel Hill's got the what, 715? I thought UT who?
That's gonna cost me a mighty yellow jacket.
No. Hey, Brooks saved a touchdown.
A couple really nice tackles there too.
Make every question today on the reverse.
All right, welcome to Coach Heupel's post-game press conference. Coach will make an opening statement, and then we will go into questions. Just raise your hand, and I will call on you. Coach?
Start off by saying thank you to the men and women that serve our country. Obviously, today was salute to service across the country, and everybody in our program is very thankful for the sacrifices that the men and women make and their families make to allow us to do what we do. Senior day, really, proud of this group. A lot of them were here when I first got here. Chose to stay here through some uncertainty, bought into our vision of what the program can and would be about, and it's a phenomenal group. It's a group that I think over the last couple of years has won 13 games. Is that right? At home, at 13 home games, which you know, over that span is as good as it's been since the late 90s. So, you know, we've had some disappointment in the results along the way, but this group, this team continues to fight and compete extremely hard. They prepare the right way. Really proud of them. That happens because of a lot of the leadership from that senior group. So, with that, I'll open it up.
Start with Ben and then go to Rob.
Josh, how much did you enjoy watching Joe play today on senior day and being able to finish his career in Neyland that way?
Yeah, you know, proud of his resiliency. Continued to, you know, prepare, fight, and compete extremely well. Obviously, the band's ready to play one more round, but he was really good throughout the course of the football game, and you know, decisive, was in the right spot and recognized coverage, and you know, did some really good things. Had some guys out on the perimeter make plays. And, you know, for most of it, the protection was really pretty solid. There were a couple times it broke down. He extended and made some plays, and you know, proud of the effort from the offensive line, and obviously that group was extremely, you know, beat up.
Coach, that was my question. The offensive line. I don't think anybody finished the game where they started. Have you ever had to mix and match stuff like that? What can you say about this guy?
Nah, Coach Ellerby and I were just talking as I was getting ready to come in here. I've never been a part of it as a player, as a coach. Just how it's unfolded this year for whatever reason, and you know, there's not one thing you can point a finger at. Proud of the guys that continue to step up, guys that come back and compete, and it's really good group.
Paige in the back middle.
Since 2009, Joe Milton's the first quarterback to be responsible for 6 touchdowns in a game. What made him so effective tonight?
Smart decision making, accurate with the football, and you know, guys out on the perimeter doing a great job, and what, you know, a lot of quarters, and which essentially becomes one-on-one situation, and you know, offensive line doing a good job protection. So you put all that together, and then a couple opportunities in the red zone running the football where he's got a really special night.
We'll stay in the back with Casey.
When you look at Jacob Warren and McAllen Castles, what are you most proud of for the tight end room this season?
You know, Jacob Warren's been such an integral part in the building of this program. His leadership, in particular over the last couple of years, I don't think you can overstate. Guy that it means everything to wear the power T and to play and compete. Chose came back for, you know, his 6th year. Callie, new to the program, fully invested, bought into everything. You know, guy that prepares extremely hard. It means everything. He wants to perform, not for himself, but for the guys around him. You know, and just continue to get better throughout the course of the year. Both extremely unselfish players. They'd rather see the other guy catch a touchdown than themselves. And 2 dynamic players. They had a good night tonight too.
David?
Josh, what could you see that was happening in the second quarter as far as the skirmishes there, and how important was it at halftime to address that, given that you didn't line by missing?
Yeah, addressed it. Tried to address it on the sidelines too, and we talked as a coaching staff as well, and it did. It got, you know, pretty chippy there for a little bit. You know, talked about it at halftime, playing smart football. We didn't necessarily do that. You know, we had more penalties than we want.
Adam?
Josh, there was some disappointments this year. You mentioned that.
Yeah.
Then there was 8-4 record is as good of a season as the 13 years before you got here. How should fans balance the pluses and the minuses of those?
They should feel, you know, the way that we feel. And when I say that, I'm proud of this group. They've worked extremely hard. They've prepared the right way. They, on game day, they've been resilient. They continue to fight and compete. Man, every Saturday is different. And we've all had some disappointment. You know, everybody in that locker room, coaches, me, everybody, when we don't end up on the right side of the scoreboard, man, there's disappointment in that. this group's never walked out on the field not thinking they were going to win.
Do you like the state of the program overall, aside from any one game or season or anything?
Rephrase that, or
Like
say that one more time.
The state of the program overall, this 4 years. Do you like where the state of the program is, aside from just?
Man, I'm really proud of where we started, where we're at, where we got to continue to fight to go get to. But absolutely.
Just going back to the offense, I saw there wasn't like any touchdowns, but the run game looked really solid today. What was your favorite aspect of that?
Yeah, it wasn't extremely efficient early in the football game. You know, we picked up some yards, but the perimeter plays off of the run game were really big. You know, Jay Wright, I don't think anybody's mentioned, but goes over 1,000 yards this year. You know, played extremely well. Jabari averaged, 7.5, on 4 carries. There were some big plays. There were efficient plays. At the end of the day, I mean, you look at the group that's up there, continuing to compete. I'm talking about the 5 offensive linemen and tight ends. There were a lot of positive things.
All right, thank you.
Wes?
These next couple weeks coming up, are they about the most hectic time of the year for a coach with a million things going on with guys maybe leaving or not, portal not, going recruiting, all that stuff? How do you even go about trying to sort of manage those couple weeks, and how big are they for your program?
Massive, huge implications on what you're going to be as you move forward as a program. So, yes, there's a lot going on all at one time. High school, portal, your players, all of it, and you got to manage it all. You got to have a great staff that communicates at a really high level and do the right things, make the right decisions.
Reese in the back.
Coach, to see Ramel score twice today
Yeah.
after a rough start to the season with a few drops, what does that mean?
Yeah, I just I'm proud of Ramel. I probably late in the year, you guys got a sense that he wasn't 100% early in the year. Just continues to fight and compete, and a year ago he stepped up in a huge way. When Sed went down, this year hasn't always been perfect for him, but guy that competes and practices extremely hard, and to go finish it inside of Neyland Stadium the way he did tonight was awesome to see.
David, then Casey.
Josh, you touched on Jalen. That's the first 1,000-yard season here in like 8 years. Is this something that not only Jalen but the entire offense, is that kind of like a group achievement award that everybody kind of likes to share in when they hit that milestone?
Yeah, it absolutely is a group achievement. I said it earlier in the week. It's probably not something that Jay Wright would point to, but the offensive line room, when they got a chance to get a guy to 1,000, they take great pride in that, and the tight ends too. They all play a huge part in that type of recognition.
What's the biggest thing you've seen in Jalen Wright's growth that's allowed him to get to that 1,000 yards in a season mark?
Man, there's a lot of things that he's grown in just off the field. I think just his maturity and how he continues to come into the building every single day, the mindset, and very consistent in his habits. On the field, it's just understanding of the run game based on the defenses that you're seeing. He started out as an elite talent that was really fast. It could or wanted to run just around everybody. He's a real running back that understands how to use the guys in front of him.
Austin, then Patrick.
You talk about Jacob coming back for his 6th year. Talk about Ollie Lane, a guy who hadn't played, he hadn't started a whole lot in his time here, but this year.
Sure did this year.
Started every step of the way.
Yeah. He's a great example of a guy that it means everything to be inside of this program, and does it the right way and cares about his teammates. Came back for another year. He's been thrown in at guard, I think our first year when we got here. This year he's played a little bit of everything, man, and huge part of the success of this football team. Guys like that, never get the recognition that they should. He means a lot inside of that old line room, but to this football team too.
Coach, you got Nico there to play in the 4th quarter. What do you think of his couple drives and what he did?
Thought he did a really good job, off of our run game, throwing the ball out on the perimeter. was accurate, decisive. When we pushed it down the field, just normal drop back. Like him to pitch the speed option. You know what I mean? Did a good job stepping through the tackle, but all in all, really good job by him.
All right, thank you. We'll have players shortly. Players will include Joe Milton, Jacob Warren, McAllen Castles.
All right, we'll start player availability. We have Joe Milton, Jacob Warren, and McAllen Castles. Raise your hand for questions, and I'll call on you guys. Patrick, we'll start with you, and then we'll go to Austin.
Joe, I think it was a career high passing yards for you, 6 touchdowns. That's pretty good senior day. Is that how you would have wanted to go out here at the stadium?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you go out with a bang. Every game you try to do that, but the most important one is this last one inside the stadium. You show a team that's how we play when we get inside the stadium. So that's the legacy that I held, that I'm gonna hold on to. And, you know, leave it on to my guy Nico.
Austin. Jacob, you and I spoke earlier this week. You talked about just not being an overly emotional guy, but you could see the kind of the emotions coming out there at the end. When did it kind of hit you? What, you know, and kind of your overall thoughts last game and getting the end zone again?
Yeah, you know, I think I did a pretty good job kind of holding it together. I think pregame saw my mom and she was, you know, she was emotional. She was crying a little bit, so that kind of got me. But, you know, held it in for the most part. And then just we got done with the alma mater and start walking back towards the field or towards the locker room and just see all the people that just mean a lot to me. Walking by him and walking by Joe and just walking by a lot of people that have had a really big part in my development, but also just my enjoyment of this whole process and this whole last year. And so that's kind of definitely what got me. But, you know, it's good to be emotional. I think, you know, you let it out a little bit. It just shows that you care and that, you know, this really meant something to me and a lot of people around me. So, yeah, it was great.
Dan and then Karthik.
Joe, what were the emotions of your senior day throughout the day, and what do you feel like you'll leave Neyland Stadium most remembering?
I kind of got mine out Friday, my throwing session here at the stadium before we play on Saturday. So just walking down by the tunnel by myself on Friday, I kind of started crying, but my coaches were in front of me, so I got to show that I'm tough, man, you know. So, but, you know, just playing inside the stadium for one last time, you know, it was amazing. I wish the guys that come up after us, you know, I wish they take it serious with us. You know, we left a legacy here that there's only one way we play when we get inside that stadium, and that's hard. There's only 2 things you can control. That's your effort and your attitude. So once you get inside that stadium and you put those jerseys on, that's what I hope you have.
Jacob, you've been here the longest out of the 3 on the stage, so I'll ask you, what kind of legacy do you feel like these seniors left here at the University of Tennessee?
I think, you know, this class kind of represents what it means to just have pride, right? I think that there was a lot of opportunities for people to jump ship, and people to leave, and people to, you know, chase other things, and that's great for those that did. But the ones that stuck around, especially the ones that are in their 6th year, like, you know, this is, you know, not to talk about the past, but this program has come a long way, and just the way we play the game has changed a lot since I've been here. And so that's something that I'm very proud of, to say that I had my hand in, and regardless of how many plays I made or you know, how big of an impact I had, you know, off the field, I think that, you know, made a lot of change and really grew a lot.
We'll go David, Mike, and then Eric.
Jacob, you've been here 6 years. This is the first year you've had a 1,000-yard rusher. What does it mean as a?
Not me.
I was about to say, boy, golly.
You don't throw me the ball enough for that, big dog.
Is you know, as a part of that, as a component to that, how much does it mean to the entire offense to have a 1,000-yard rusher?
Yeah, it's huge, man. And Jay Wright is, man, one of the most talented guys I've been around. It's just his work ethic and the way that he's changed his body and just how he looks. He's a freak, man, and he's done a really good job. Offensive line's done a really good job. I think that, you know, just being real, something that doesn't necessarily get pointed out enough is kind of the work that McAllen and myself do. You know, whether it's just inserting or just cutting off a backside or just making things right when things kind of fall apart, that leads to a lot of those gains. And again, not saying that, you know, it's all me or whatever, but, you know, I'm proud of myself and of him and, you know, of our backs as well for just, man, going out there and just competing every single week. And regardless of what's going on, regardless of injuries on the line or whatever it was, he went and competed, and we know he'd give his all for us. So.
Mike?
Yeah. Joe, you referenced going out with a bang. Is that an important thing to you to kind of leave that mark and that stamp in your last game here?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like every other game that we had here, you know, we could have played harder. But this one especially, you know, you want to end the season correctly. And especially with the home state rivalry, you got to be able to just go, and you got to be able to give your all for Tennessee, and that's what we did tonight.
Aaron?
Kind of walk me through your touchdown reception and the throw from Joe.
I mean, it's a play we've had in for a couple weeks, and we've kind of been keeping it on the back end, kind of holding on to it, just to sell the out and then get up. And the whole time we practiced, Joe said, it's going to be up and down, like that guy's going to be right on you. I'm going to throw it right on his head. And so he put a perfect ball, just had to make the catch, and the rest is history, touchdown, you know.
So Ryan and then Austin.
For Joe, but feel free to weigh in for the tight ends. Is there something about this matchup that made the tight ends, you know, more of a factor in the passing game today?
Should I tell him?
Concerted effort to get those guys the ball.
Nah, I ain't gonna do it like that. Nah, it was just cover 0, 4-3. Number 2 was I knew from the point from the snap, from post snap and pre snap, I knew who had the tight end all week, and we had that same look. They did exactly what we thought they was gonna do, and when they gave me the go ahead to play that play, I was like, man, like there's only one spot I could put this ball. And then I looked at the tight end spot, and I seen who it was. I was like, oh, man, 2 got a hell of a night, man. He finna, man. So I just did my job, you know, just do your job at a high level. That's all we pretty much asked for. And I did that. He did that. And the O-line played great tonight, man. You know, I just got to give a props to them.
Well, Casey, Paige, and then Wes.
McAllen, spending your last year here of eligibility, what has it meant to you, and what are you taking with you from this year?
I mean, yeah, obviously I wasn't here for the whole time, but I came here for the football, but I always remember it for the people. This has been the best college football experience I've ever been a part of. I mean, this is my best friend right here. Spend every day with him, just grinding. But, you know, I've never felt like I belong more in a college football space than I have here, and I've made multiple stops. So I think that just speaks to the culture that these guys have built here with Heupel, and just it's a great place. Like, just Tennessee is where you want to be to play football.
Well spoken.
Paige.
Joe, you were responsible for 6 touchdowns tonight, the first quarterback since I think 2009 to do that. What made you so effective on the field tonight?
These guys. Pretty much the whole offense, you know. You know, Joe can't be Joe without the other 10 guys, you know. So whatever they do and how they do it, the preparation throughout the week, the film study, the asking me questions throughout practice, you know, just asking me how this ball is going to be up, how this ball is going to be, you know, just all the small details, you know, that's pretty much what we asked for. And, you know, like I said, those 6 touchdowns wouldn't happen if the other 10 guys wasn't doing their job at a high level. So,
Wes, Austin, Ben, and we'll finish with Ryan.
Joe, with the offensive line this season, those guys have kind of been shuffling in and out. They've been really banged up. What can you say about those guys and just like who was available today, who could play? I mean, was it one of those deals where it's just like just had to find a way?
Champions always find a way. That's how I view life, man. Champions find a way. So, you know, we didn't know what the week was going to hold. We didn't know who was going to play. Sunday night, we didn't know who was going to be the starter for this Saturday. So, I mean, as an offense, you just got to go out there. Everybody should know the offense. I feel like if you play the whole season, everybody on the offense, no matter who you are, you should know the offense. So when your opportunities show up, you got to be able to show out. I feel like those 5 that was out there with me tonight, you know, they played their heart out. You know, they did all they can, what they was asked of, and then the guys around me, the running backs, the tight ends, the receivers, everybody else just did their job at a high level, man. That's all we pretty much asked for. That's what they did.
Jacob, there's several guys that went through the team tonight for the final time that could come back, kind of like you did last year.
Yeah.
What advice would you give those guys that are thinking about, maybe, doing another tour?
Yeah, I think last year, same time senior night was the moment that I realized that I wasn't done right, that I wanted to come back. I think it was big for me because the emotions I felt tonight were a lot different than the emotions I felt last year. Just understanding that I could have came back and did coming back, but I would just encourage them to listen to themselves. If they have a feeling or they have like I said, emotions about it, listen to yourself, listen to your heart, and big thing for me, man, I prayed through it. It was really hard for me to come to terms with what I felt like I was thinking I needed to do. And I prayed my way through it and truthfully found so much peace and so much comfort in the decision. So I hope and pray that those guys will be able to do the same.
And we'll finish with Ryan for this group.
Joe, how nice was it to get Ramel 2 touchdowns tonight and just in the regular season on a high note after it's been kind of a roller coaster for him, I guess, this year?
I wouldn't say you had a roller coaster. Just mistakes happen. It's life, man. Life is hard as it is. You never know what a guy's going through day in, day out. So I wouldn't say a roller coaster for him. Ramel's going to be Ramel at the end of the day. And you see him tomorrow, he might not be smiling. So, like he didn't score tonight. So, Ramel's going to be Ramel, man. Like I said, I wouldn't give it a roller coaster. But the opportunities that we had tonight as an offense, it showed that what could have really happened this year. But at the same time, we don't go back and say, shoulda, coulda, woulda, because if that was the case, then we would have did it already. So just building off of that, man, just keep going. We got one more as a team, as a unit. Just go put it together and make it happen.
Ryan, last question. Joe, you mentioned kind of being emotional leading up to today. What makes you feel that way, I guess, about Tennessee? And how would you look back on this experience overall? Let's say you kind of had to wait your turn a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know, man. My journey been shaky, man. 3 years at Michigan. First 2 years playing only 8 games, and then my junior year, COVID happened, 2020. You get to start and you get to play 3 games, and your second game of the season, you get hurt to an injury. So you just look back at those things, and to be honest, I just never gave myself the fruits of the labor. This is the longest season I've ever been in, and also just making it through. Also just being able to go game from game and flushing the last one. That's pretty much all you ask for. But I didn't do it alone. I had a whole bunch of guys behind me, and they was telling me all the right things. They kept me up. They made sure that I was smiling because everybody knew if I wasn't smiling, nobody else would smile. So they made sure I was smiling. Like these 2 guys, day in, day out, like they always said they had my back. So just to come out here and give those 2 guys a touchdown, man, I feel great. I feel awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, I gotta say something too. Not to get all dramatic, emotional, whatever, but thank you guys for everything you do. Not many people thank y'all for your time. So I thank you for your time. I thank you for giving me the opportunity to kind of put my face out there and just kind of express who I am as a person. So yeah, a lot of y'all been with me for a long time, so I really appreciate everybody.
Well, if you're gonna do that, then I might as well.
Go ahead.
But no, serious note. Thank y'all. Nobody really knows how much work y'all put in, how long y'all stay up at night, man. It's truly an honor to be in front of you guys and get to ask questions from you guys, man. It's been a blessing. It's been a great 3 years. We got one more to do, so let's go have fun. So thank y'all.
Ditto.
Yeah.
We just need
That's like a legit. Scouting should have had more fun. I really appreciate all these last 6 years.
I don't think you. 7-7, Georgia takes it.
All right, we'll finish player availability out here. We're from Mel Keaton, Aaron Beasley, and Will Brooks. Please raise your hand for questions, and I'll call on you guys. Let's get started. Go ahead, Austin. Mel, you're pretty flatline. Last go around, you got a big smile after 2 touchdowns tonight on senior night.
Yeah, it's a good moment. You know, last time on D-Lin, going out like that. So yeah.
Wes and then Caleb.
Ramel, Heupel said that you were a little bit kind of banged up early in the season. You were fighting through some things, and you know, obviously wasn't much reported about it. I mean, how tough were things for you? Or was it just kind of nicks and bruises, or how'd you fight through it?
Y'all had I guess like a bone bruise in my foot, like after the first game. Then I kind of had to battle through that, and it kind of didn't really heal all the way until like maybe 3-4 weeks after that. And then, but I know when we got the bye week, everything kind of like got a little better. But it's just regular soreness and all that come with being a receiver, so it wasn't like that bad. But I was good enough to go. So.
Caleb.
Will, you had to step up due to some injuries in that secondary. Can you just talk about the mentality of the secondary and kind of battling through the end of the year?
Yeah, we just kind of had the next man up mentality. Everybody who was playing was ready to give their best for the game, and you know, just everybody on the team really just has that same mentality of the next man up and just taking advantage of every opportunity you're given.
So Ryan and then David.
Aaron, what happened there in the second quarter that kind of caused tempers to flare for a while, and how did you guys kind of keep your composure coming out of that?
Yeah, I don't know what happened. All I know is a bunch of chaos started going on, but yeah, I thought it was funny, but I feel like we regrouped well, and we stopped all that. So.
David.
Aaron, as a follow-up to that, I mean, did y'all kind of realize, hey, if we do get ejected, we won't play in the first half of the bowl game? I mean, was that brought to y'all's attention that y'all might miss part of your last game?
Yeah, the coaches for sure was yelling that at us, and then we realized, we can't get kicked out, but yeah, it is what it is. We weren't trying to get kicked out, that's for sure.
You know, I was just thinking, you know, you have your Floridas and Alabamas of the world, but like, do you really like think of Vanderbilt as like a really heated rival coming into rivalry week, or is it just like think of the other guys and then Vanderbilt?
You asking me that one?
Yeah.
Okay. I think they're a rival. They're in state. They're another SC school that's in our state, and I feel like we wanna, you know, we feel like we run this state, so we definitely wanna, you know, send that message out to them and put it that way for sure.
Patrick.
And we talked to you, and you seemed pretty even keel. Was it a problem for you to manage your emotions today? No, this is your last home game. Any of that? Seeing your family? Any of that? Was that hard?
Yeah, I feel like it was harder like during the week, like leading up to this point. But once we got to like ball walk and stuff, you know, I was in the moment. You know, I was embracing it, soaking it all in. So it wasn't too hard to keep my emotions in. I feel like I did a good job. But like I said, yeah, leading up to this week, it was kind of tough for me.
Well, what's it been like the past couple of weeks, kind of getting tossed out there into the fire a little bit? I know you've played some throughout your career, but to really kind of have this experience, what's it been like for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's been great. Our coaches do a great job of preparing everybody for the opportunities and moments that could come their way. But I've just trying to enjoy every moment of it.
Anything else for this group? Paige.
I guess it could be for any one of you guys. When you're on the sideline for the last time, whether the offense or defense was coming off, were you guys reflecting on anything in particular? What were you guys kind of thinking on the sideline as the
No, you can go.
You talking about like?
Just like reflecting on
Oh,
your like
yeah.
career and then like the season you guys have had.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely was. Just talking with some of the guys on defense, just how far we came, the role we've been on, some of the guys I came in with, the bad times we had and the good times we had. So yeah, it was a little bit of reflecting going on for sure.
Caleb?
Romel, the tight ends have been a lot more involved in the passing game this year compared to last. How does that make it? Does it change it at all for you at wide receiver? And then what can you just say about that room's performances?
It just makes us as a group better offensively, knowing that tight ends can step up and, contribute in the passing game. We got good running backs too, so it just makes the offense more even. So you can't really focus on like one particular like person. You can't focus on one receiver or one tight end or one running back. So it makes us good. It makes us all even.
Patrick, Aaron, you kind of touched on your last answer. The guys before you were talking about the legacy you guys left. What do you hope your legacy is as a player, having, as you touched on, kind of help Tennessee kind of get up and get going again?
Yeah, man. Just honestly, that I gave my all for Tennessee. That's what I would, like it to be, and I wouldn't have no problem with it being that. I gave my all for Tennessee, and I feel like I truly did that from the start and to the last. I've done that for sure.
Wes?
Romel, what do you make of sort of this season overall? Obviously, y'all have gotten back to a place as a program where you don't go into a season saying, hey, we want to go 8-4, but things happen, lost a couple games, finished it better today in the regular season. What's this kind of journey been like the past few months?
Well, it's been of course up and down, but we raised the expectation, the standard of like this program, and I feel like us as a senior group, even last year we did a good job with that. So it's not like Tennessee is expecting to win like 8 games. Even though it may be good for other like schools and stuff like that, but like we rode the standard. So our expectation is like national championship, like AC championship. Even though we didn't get it this year, that's still the expectation. And I'm pretty sure next year they're gonna get it. So that's good.
Ryan, Romel, what did you think of Joe's performance today? Anything that stood out about why he was able to put up such big numbers with the offensive line banged up and some of the injuries and everything?
Joe just went out and played confident. He played like himself. Even though it didn't always show in every single game, but I feel like he always plays well on the film. But today it was just a good day for him and a good day for us.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate your time tonight.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, he's a better college than I am. He doesn't have to deal with you as much as I do.